It'd be nice to have a job she didn't have to work in, but I don't have that job.
When Mike DeRoe's Wisconsin land was stolen through fraud and forgery, he turned to Wisconsin's justice system. He had no way of knowing that corruption trumps the rule of law in the Badger State. All levels of government are tainted, especially close to the Capitol in Madison. Little known to the public is the real power and enabler behind the throne, Chief Justice Shirley S. Abrahamson. Once described as a carpetbagging opportunist from New York, grandmotherly Abrahamson is ideally suited to provide cover for rampant corruption. The widespread judicial corruption enabled by Shirley Abrahamson impacts real people. Mike DeRoe purchased land in Wisconsin and built a home and shortwave broadcast facility to serve blind and visually impaired audio archivists and broadcasters. A key portion of that land was stolen through interstate wire fraud and forgery to facilitate a massive housing development project. That destroyed the special needs facility and rendered the property a white elephant. The forger worked for a large title insurance company with a big stake in that development. The DeRoe family had no way of knowing that Shirley Abrahamson and Madison's corrupt officials had a big stake in that development as well. Realizing that there was a stacked deck in Madison, Mike DeRoe wrote to Abrahamson. The long list of letters over years detailing the corrupt anti-legal activities stripped Ms. Abrahamson of plausible denial. Mike also attempted to inform Ms. Abrahamson about the denial of basic habeas corpus rights in the landmark Stephen Maigret's case. Again, she failed to respond, apparently taking a large salary for doing nothing.
So people think judges don't work. That's not quite right, is it?
No, not quite right.
What endears her to the media elite is an Eastern globalist social agenda. Her findings drip of condescension, a feeling that the average backward citizen of the state of Wisconsin doesn't really know what's good for him or her and must be coerced into proper, politically correct attitudes and conduct. Let's quickly recap Miss Abrahamson's troubled career and philosophy. She subscribes to the idea that American courts should be subservient to foreign law and precedents. This treasonous idea effectively negates the Constitution, substituting the tyranny of elitists in foreign tribunals for the wisdom of the founders and the rights granted by God. Miss Abrahamson believes in judicial activism, which effectively negates the role of the legislature and the will of the people. This is especially dangerous when combined with a lawless, tyrannical, radical governor like James Doyle. The combination of Jim Doyle's ambition and Shirley Abrahamson's politically motivated judicial star chamber allowed the most outrageous domestic abuse of the USA Patriot Act. An innocent property owner, Stephen Maigret, was railroaded as a so-called paper terrorist as a means for Doyle to grandstand during the post-9/11 hysteria, and Ozaukee County to steal a valuable parcel of riverfront property. Abrahamson allowed an unprecedented Soviet-style secret jury to be impaneled in the case. For this alone, she should have been removed from the bench and prosecuted. Doyle used the Stephen Maigret's case to become governor, and Abrahamson recently won her unprecedented fourth 10-year term under the shadow of widespread voter fraud. It is simply unbelievable that a woman of such minimal intellect and a proclivity for taking more free travel junkets than any public figure in the state should be Chief Justice for life. There is something rotten in Dane County. Miss Abrahamson has allowed unethical attorneys in the state of Wisconsin to prey upon the public with virtually no oversight. She revamped the so-called Board of Professional Responsibility by renaming it but left all of the same political hacks on the board. That effectively flushed out all of the pending cases, allowing unethical and criminally culpable attorneys to obtain a get-out-of-jail-free card. Wisconsin is reputed to have the most unethical attorneys and judges of any state in the union. Abrahamson has been a tool for special interest groups to undermine private property rights, to open the door to massive development in environmentally sensitive land. The Associated Press reported that Justice Abrahamson has received more than $30,000 since August 2008 from attorneys with cases currently pending before the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Justice Abrahamson has not refused the money from the attorneys on any of these cases or even disclosed it to other parties. During Abrahamson's more than 3 decades of unprecedented influence, Wisconsin saw the destruction of industry and agriculture and the adoption of every modern vice. Organized crime and attorneys under absolute protection from Ms. Abrahamson managed to transform Wisconsin from a wholesome, agricultural, and first-rate manufacturing state into a safe haven for lotteries, gambling, pornography, and destructive overdevelopment. By the new millennium, Shirley S. Abrahamson had succeeded in her dream. The transformation of Wisconsin. She finally felt at home again, swimming in a sea of shysters, filth, and the highest taxes in the land. For more information about Shirley S. Abrahamson, please go to www.stopshirley.com.